House of Representatives reject Samoa Agreement, urge federal government to suspend implementation as Kano state government cracks down on same-sex marriage promoters. SANU NASU members stage nationwide protests over withheld salaries. Armed bandits attack Katsina community, kill 1, injure 3, abduct dozens. And on the foreign scene, casualties in Israeli strikes on Nusayrat market area in Gaza. It's the news update on Trust Television at this hour. Hello and welcome. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for joining us, and now the news in detail. The House of Representatives has urged the federal government to suspend the Samoa Agreement amid controversy over alleged LGBTQ provisions. The decision follows the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance sponsored by the Minority Whip, Sani Madaki, and 87 other lawmakers. During the motion's presentation, Madaki argued that the agreement violates the nation's laws regarding LGBTQ issues and same-sex marriage. Lawmakers who supported the motion urged the House to reject the Samoa Agreement entirely while calling for the suspension of its implementation. The Samoa Agreement was signed by the federal government on June 28.
Further worried that the signing of such an agreement with the aforementioned clauses, if true, violate our sovereignty and is a clear contravention of Section 12(1) of 99 Constitution as amended.
The first amendment, Mr. Speaker, is the need for Nigerian government to unsign and withdraw from the unpopular Samoa Agreement, and the need for the government to refrain from engaging in any such treaties that contravene the people's culture, religion, and unethical morals.
Where the federal government is going into an agreement, by the provisions of Section 12 of the Constitution, the Parliament ought to be carried along. And if the Parliament had been carried along, these arguments, even from our people that we speak for, would not have been there, because Nigerians would have been better informed.
Also, the Kano state government has ordered a clampdown on any organization promoting LGBTQ rights, as they violate the provision of Sharia, as well as the culture and tradition of the people of Kano state. The Commander General of the State Hizbah Board, Aminu Daurawa, who has addressed a press conference in Kano, said one of the Hizbah Board staff members seen in a viral video making comments about LGBTQ was not representing the board, and as such would be made to face disciplinary action. Trust TV's correspondent Idris Jibrin reports.
According to Sheikh Daurawa, Kano state government will not be part of any agreement recognizing same-sex marriage or relationship of whatever kind that seems to violate the religion of Islam. He said the state government and by extension the people of Kano state will continue to respect the same-sex marriage prohibition law passed in 2014 during former President Goodluck Jonathan administration, which banned same-sex marriage in Nigeria.
Gwamnatin jihar Kano bata gamsu ba ko bata amince ko bata yadda ba da duk wani
Kano state government is not satisfied and will never be satisfied and will never agree with any agreement violating the religion of Islam or the Islamic Sharia that was launched by the state government. And Kano state government will not respect any law contrary to the law signed during the administration of Goodluck Jonathan in 2013. We will not recognize that, and we will continue to respect the laws of the land that does not contradict the religion of Islam or Islamic Sharia.
2013 wacce Jonathan ya sa mata hannu.
Confirming the commitment of Hizbah in fighting LGBTQ community across the state, Daurawa says they have already identified some non-governmental organizations working to promote LGBTQ in Kano, many of whom have since been shut down.
Shekara da shekaru ana ta yaki da wannan abu a jihar Kano, hukumar Hizbah tana
For many years, Kano State government through the Hisbah Commission has been fighting the LGBTQ community. We have been entering all nooks and crannies of Kano State to identify those non-governmental organizations that are working in Kano to promote same-sex marriage. And we will never stop. We will continue to do this because it is what Allah says we should do. Idris Gama is the Hisbah officer who was recently seen in a viral video commenting on the activities of the LGBTQ. He says he has never been part of their activities, and in fact, he acted out of ignorance of the real meaning of LGBTQ, and that he is apologizing to the Hisbah and the entire people of Kano State for any inconveniences his action might have caused them. In the first place, I am not among them. I am not a part of them, and I will never be part of them. As I told you, I was invited as Idris Gama, not as Hisbah officer, and I have nothing to do with LGBTQ. And at the time I was asked that question, honestly, to be sincere to you and to be sincere to the people of Kano State, I don't know the meaning of LGBTQ. Meanwhile, Sheikh Daurawa is calling on all people in the state to continue to remain vigilant and report any suspicious group working to promote same-sex marriage to the board for appropriate action. Idris Jubrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
The Joint Action Committee of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities on Tuesday staged a one-day protest over their withheld 4-month salaries. The committee has also vowed to shut down public universities later this month if their withheld salaries and other issues are not addressed. Habiba Tajai has more.
We're currently at the main campus, University of Abuja. The NASU and SANU are actually staging a protest at the front of the entrance.
Follows several attempts to draw government's attention to unresolved issues. The two unions, under the aegis of the Joint Action Committee, JAC, embark on the strike due to the government's alleged repeated failure to implement many agreements.
Under the aegis of JAC, in March 2022, embark on a strike as a result of government's repeated failure to abide and implement the many agreements in which it freely entered with the unions. As of the last count, we've had 7 different agreements with government, and repeatedly government have failed to implement their part of the agreements. This repeated reneging on agreement is eroding the trust of our members in government and its officials. And one wonders if they are truly committed to a qualitative education for the children of the masses.
The JAC national president explained that several meetings with government officials to address their needs have so far yielded no results.
You remember very well that the House Committee on Education equally invited us on this matter, and they passed a resolution. They told us the matter had been transmitted to the presidency. The Minister of Labour invited us about 2 months ago. We went there, but we were told that she has gone to the presidency for another meeting. Last week, Thursday, she invited us. We went there. We were told she has gone to the presidency for another meeting. And this is a minister that's supposed to take absolute charge and control of this matter. So I wonder what she's going to presidency to report when there is problem in her own house.
Academic activities have been partially affected as the protest continues.
I'm here now and my office is empty, so it's disrupting the activities partially. But when these grievances are not curtailed with emergency, as we call on the necessary government organs to do, then we cannot guarantee full activities in the few days to come in our campuses, across the campuses.
The unions insisted that unless their demands are met, a total shutdown of university activities may be imminent. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
On to security matters, armed bandits riding on motorcycles on Monday attacked Ruangodia and Kwakwere Sheme communities in Faskari local government area of Katsina State, killing one person and abducting several others. 3 persons also sustained gunshot wounds in the process. The bandits who attacked Ruangodia village while residents were performing Isha prayer ransacked shops, residential houses and carted away monies, food items and other valuables. While at Kwakware Sheme, which is just 4 kilometers from Ruangodia village and only 3 kilometers to Sheme town, the bandits abducted 10 people, looted shops and rustled an unspecified number of animals. The State Police Command is yet to issue a statement on the attack. 69 Boko Haram terrorists and their families have been handed over to troops of the multinational Joint Task Force in N'Djamena, Republic of Chad. A statement by the chief spokesperson of the MNJT, Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi, on Tuesday said the terrorists were handed over by the maritime troops of the Cameroon and Niger forces after a successful operation along Lake Chad. Among the surrendered terrorists were 14 fighters and 55 women and children. One of the fighters surrendered with an AK-45 rifle and live ammunition. The statement said the later surrender happened between July 1 and 6 in the ongoing Operation Lake Sanity 2. Meanwhile, the Plateau State Police Command on Tuesday morning arrested a suspected car thief, Audu Yusuf, in Boko town of Jos South local government area of the state. The suspect was arrested alongside a painter, Ismail Al-Hassan, allegedly conspiring with a car thief to change the color of the stolen vehicle. The prime suspect, who claimed to be from Nasarawa State, said he was given the vehicle by a friend at about 1:30 a.m. on Wednesday to deliver to a client and get paid for his driving services, not knowing that the vehicle was stolen. Parading the suspect at the Boko Divisional Police Headquarters, the spokesperson of the State Police Command, DSP Alabo Alfred, narrated how the suspects, who later claimed innocence, were arrested.
After receiving a phone call from our colleagues from Abuja about a young man that was robbed in FCT Abuja, and that the car has been stolen and they are rotating to our end, that is coming to Plateau State with this vehicle. The Commissioner of Police, being a very proactive police boss, directed the DPOB Division, SP Gufu Banmun, to immediately swing into action and ensure that the vehicle is recovered and also the suspects are arrested.
He's a very good friend of mine. I know him for years. He came to my place in the yesterday night. He told me that, please, I should help him and drive this motor to Jos. Now I said, okay. He said that he's going to find me something. Then he gave me 3,500 that I should hold it first. I said, let me get something so that in case, not knowing that the car is a stolen car. This morning I came to Jos. The motor went off. So in the process of trying to on the car, I see the car, it's like it's being hacked. Then I told him that, I called him on phone, I told him what happened, and this motor is not starting. And the ignition is not even showing any light from the dashboard. He said that I should remove the battery head, which I did. He said I should still put it back. I did. The motor did not start. So he now said he's going to send somebody's number that will give him the car.
A woman in Yenagoa, the Bayelsa state capital, has given birth to quadruplets after 14 years childlessness. According to the mother of 4, identified as Mercy Saber, the journey to delivery wasn't easy, but is worth the while as it ended an almost 1.5 decade of childlessness. Trustee Friday Bimobowe Peter completes the report.
The mother of the quadruplets, Mercy Silva, thanked God for the successful journey while calling on the state government and well-meaning individuals to come to their aid.
When I went for this first scan, they saw I was pregnant with 3 babies. So the doctor was shocked. He now said I should go to somewhere else to repeat the scan. When I went there, it was 4 they saw. I came back and I told him, he said it's a lie, it's not possible, something that he just did some days ago. Now I'm telling him it's 4, that he did not believe the scan result. He said I should go to other place for the scan. I went there too, it showed 4. So it was not easy seeing that you are carrying 4 babies at once. The fear and everything, even we are thinking of the financial implication. How are we going to survive when we give birth to them? But we just said it's God that did it, so there is nothing we can do. My mom, she's a twin. Okay. The one that follow her, 2 girls, twins. She was a boy and a girl. Then my husband family too. His mother had twins. Then his younger brother has twins 2 times, 2 girls, 2 girls, 1, 3. Then the one that followed the 3 twins, the other one twins, two girls, 1 boy and 1 girl.
Also speaking, the father of the quadruplets, Silva Goswill, a secondary school teacher, said he has spent all his little incomes as he wasn't expecting 4 children at the same time.
The excitement, it also follows with fear because we are not really expecting something like that. We are praying for one. But when the result came, they say it's 4. So at that moment, we are all confused. I couldn't even sleep because I know the implications. You know, this present situation now in the country. You know, if you are not maybe big-time business person or big-time politician, it's not really easy for people. Maybe financial and the material things, like my wife said. Maybe if materially assistance can come from government or any other well-wisher, we will really appreciate.
The quadruplets comprises of 1 male and 3 females. From Yanagwa, Friday, Ebimobowe Peter, Trust TV News.
President Bola Tinubu has announced the creation of a new ministry, the Federal Ministry of Livestock Development. The president made the announcement on Tuesday at the State House, Abuja, while inaugurating the Renewed Hope Livestock Reform Implementation Committee to address farmers' herders' issues. The president also announced the change in leadership of the Presidential Committee on Livestock Reform, previously held by Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje. President Tinubu remains leader of the committee, but former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Atahiru Jega, is now the deputy chairman and will coordinate the body when the president is not seated. The president was quick to emphasize that the change in leadership had no political connotations and should not be seen as an indictment on APC chairman's capacity. And moving on to more stories. The FCT Police Command has sent Shuaibu Alhaji Yushau to the Social Development Secretariat for mental assessment and evaluation following his rather troubling action, which caused apprehension in the nation's capital on Monday when he climbed a high broadband mast at Aso Radio in Katampe, Abuja, and attempting to take his own life. Police said the suspect, if found to be mentally stable after the test, will be charged in court for attempted suicide, disturbance of public peace, and incitement contrary to sections 231, 111, and 114 of the Penal Code Act. The Commissioner of Police, FCT, Benneth Igwe, urges residents to be law-abiding while pushing for their voices to be heard, as the police will not be stampeded into allowing the breakdown of law and order. Leisure places in Nigeria, such as restaurants, hotels, sports, event centers, and cinemas, are facing difficulties in attracting customers as soaring food prices continue to drain consumers' pockets, leaving little room for discretionary spending on entertainment and recreation. Trust TV spoke with sports coaches and restaurant owners in the Agege area of Lagos State. This report is presented from our studio.
Leisure places such as restaurants, hotels, sports event centers, and cinemas in Agege area of Lagos State are experiencing low patronage. The economic hardship has caused many Nigerians to patronize food items over leisure activities. Restaurant owners lament the low patronage of customers as the continuous rise in food prices affects their business operations.
Everything now is so much cost because some people now they don't fit to come and eat in my restaurant now because I went to the market now to go and buy some things now. I didn't make it. Now since morning I've just cooked the food. I didn't sell like before.
The effect of the economic hardship is really affecting every aspect of life, both food stuff, even in the realization central. Maybe if you are somebody that take maybe 2 bottles before, you reduce it to maybe 1 bottle. And with that 1 bottle, you can spend 3 hours because you don't have any other means.
My customers are not more common because the food, even the food we cook, we go to markets, we buy things to cook. Everything has increased. They cannot be able to be eating as before. You only see people coming to eat.
I don't know what to say. The people are not patronizing me as before again, and not only here because the price of food is too expensive. People now come, people that used to eat 3 times a day, they manage to come once. If you can see inside my shop, no customer. We have been here since morning. I didn't mean it before. By now, the first set of foods would have finished. We put the second one, we keep on cooking. But now it's not like that.
Other leisure places such as Agege Stadium were deserted with very few persons engaged in playing table tennis and basketball.
If you are not well feeded, you can't play table tennis. That's number one. I know that, and a lot of people are running away. This little racket I'm rolling, and you are seeing with me now, cost a lot. A few people can afford it.
The effect make the hunger make them like, oh, these things are very expensive. I can only have this for now. Let me push more. The bad effect of it is that after the trade, what will they eat? They will only take small portion of food with their big money, and they'll get at the end of the day.
So a lot of kids are really complaining that they are not really feeding well, you know. So we are begging government to look after the food and see how they can reduce both transportation and food in the country, so we can have more kids that comes out for doing sports in this area.
The daily increase in food prices is a significant concern as Nigerians struggle to make ends meet, leaving little disposable income for non-essential items such as entertainment.
On the foreign scene, and now to East development, 4 civilians were killed and others were injured on Tuesday in an Israeli air raid on the Nusayrat market area in the center of the Gaza Strip. The occupation artillery also targeted with several missiles the Shabura camp in the center of Rafah in the southern strip. Earlier, 9 civilians, mostly children, were killed and others were injured in the Israeli drone shelling of a gathering of civilians near the Abu Rasas roundabout in the Bureij refugee camp in the middle of Gaza. A citizen was also killed and others wounded in an artillery bombardment of a site in the Sabra neighborhood south of Gaza City. 3 more civilians were killed and others were injured in an Israeli targeting of a group of civilians in the Tel Sultan neighborhood west of the city of Rafah. The number of civilians killed in Gaza since Tuesday morning today has so far reached 33, with dozens of others also wounded. And that concludes the news update on Trust Television. Do not forget, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentary. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for your time.